Welcome to the part 2 of our tutorial. And previously on part 1, I demonstrated how to create a base mesh in ZBrush. And this base mesh, we are going to use it to create a lower version of character through the process of retopologizing. So we are going to into a process of retopologizing the character here in part 2. So open your ZBrush and locate the file that I am going to provide here. So okay, so I have here a ZBrush folder that I will include inside your download link that I'm going to provide, and open that. And I have here the Mulan base mesh finish. Open that file. Okay, and I already finished the entire character, as you can see. And let's take a look at these active points. And this object currently has a 2 million numbers of vertices. Okay, just press Shift F on your keyboard and look at the surface close to the surface of our character, and it has so many vertices in it, and 3D Studio Max cannot handle such numbers of points. So we have to reduce this one, because if we import it into 3D Studio Max right away, 3ds Max might gonna crash. Okay, so to reduce this one, let's just go to Z plugin and drag this over here, and in decimation master, click pre-process current, and it's gonna take some time to finish the process, and we'll just have to wait for a while. Okay, all right. Okay, so after we press the process current, we can now decimate the character by pressing this decimate current. Okay, and it will start to reduce the number of polygons. So if we look at the active points, it downgraded the numbers of active points to 400,000 pieces. Okay, so we can reduce it more, lesser than 400,000. So I'll undo this one, and I'll reduce the decimation percent to 10%, and decimate current. Okay, and okay, I got here now much lesser number of active points to 200,000 pieces of vertices. And press Shift F on your keyboard, and I want to give you an advice that every time you perform a decimation, make sure that uh, you avoid decimating the character for too much, uh, lowering the decimation percent, because it gonna lose your details that you have done into your character. Okay, so be careful using that decimation master. Okay, we are now ready to import this one into 3ds Max. So here, let's just click the export button, and I have here my old file that I already saved, and I'm going to provide this one also into your download link file inside ZBrush folder, and I'm going to replace that, and yes. Okay, and let's go proceed to 3D Studio Max. Okay, so open your 3D Studio Max, and here in Max logo, Let's all reset the software and press yes. And before importing our base mesh from ZBrush, let's just set up our system unit scale to millimeter. So it should be set up to metric millimeter, and check your system unit setup, and it should be 1:1 and millimeter as well. Okay, and press OK. And here from logo again, click the import and locate the where we save the file named base mesh from ZBrush, and double click that and just click the import button. Alright, and then let's expand the canvas, the viewport canvas, and let's expand this layer, and we already see that these objects are available in our working space, and rename this into base mesh. Okay, so here if you notice that your object isn't set up to edit poly modifier, just select that object and right click and convert to edit poly modifier, unless you won't see the tools that we will going to use. Okay, so you should always set your character into edit poly modifier before seeing these tools. Okay, and then if you can see these tools, just right click here and just check the ribbon to make these tools appear at the top of our user interface. Okay, and we are now ready to do our first step of retopologizing. Okay, so double click the freeform, and the first step that we are going to do is let's go here in surface and change it to draw on surface, and let's click here, pick. So you should see here a pick button, and just click your character, and it's supposed to appear the name of your character after clicking the object here. Okay, using pick button. Okay, and I'm going to set the offset back to 0 because it's 0 is the default number of this offset value. Okay, and we are now ready to draw or retopologize along with the surface of base mesh. So here in polydraw, click new object. Okay, and after clicking that object, you can now see here that it already creates another object, and we are currently selecting it. So we just name it body underscore final. Although we can see any physical form of it because it doesn't have any elements just yet, just like polygon surface, edge, and vertices, unlike this base mesh. So I will turn off this for a while so that I can select the base mesh. Okay, so the base mesh has already a physical form. It has a surface, a vertex points, and an edge, while the newly created object doesn't have any. Okay, just yet. Okay, and to create a physical form of it, let's go and click the step build, and let's do a single click for 4 times on our along with the surface of our character. Single click, single click, single click, and single click, and hold the shift key on your keyboard while clicking and dragging at the center of these 4 vertex, and that creates our first surface for our newly created object. Okay, and now it has a physical form. Okay, and then we have here a drag tool. So basically the drag tool drags each elements. Okay, so let's go back to step build, and step build, let's I mean extend. Okay, so extend, we're gonna extend those edges and to cover up the entire surface of the uh, face. So I'm just going to demonstrate the process at the area of the face only, because if I'm going to finish the whole body, it will take several hours for us before we finish the before we cover up the entire body. Okay, so I'm just going to demonstrate only at the area of the face. Okay, so with the extend button activated, hold your shift on your keyboard and click and drag on the edge. Okay, all right, and let's go back to drag tool. So in drag tool, we can rearrange our topology and make it uh, follow to the flow along the form of our base mesh. Okay, so I'm just going to fix my pen tablet because the error is currently occurring and I can't use it properly. So I'm just gonna pause the video for a while. Okay, so let's continue to our work. Okay, I'm gonna select again the body underscore final object, and okay, okay, so going back at the drag button, so we can drag the vertices and rearrange our topology, and you can also drag the loop of the entire loop of the edge by holding the control shift button and drag it up. Okay, and let me undo that. Okay, and then hold shift on your keyboard and try dragging this part. Okay, and it drags a single edge of our object. And let me undo this one, and let's try to hold the control key on our keyboard. Okay, and that makes us drag the entire surface or a single polygon of our object. Okay, and okay, so let's us extend it furthermore. Extend, hold shift and then extend, and then just click and drag, click and drag, and click and drag, and then hold shift on your keyboard. uh, I mean hold control and shift on your keyboard to extend multiple edges at the same time. Okay, all right, and rearrange again the vertex. Okay, I'll just finish covering the area of the eyes, and then we'll proceed covering other parts of the face later. Okay, I'm just going to fast forward this part so that we can discuss more of the topic. Okay, so I'm done covering the area and in the ice, and now I'm ready to connect these points together. So let's activate the vertex mode so that we can access the target weld button. And using target weld button, we can just click the vertex and weld it into another vertex. Okay, and if you can barely see the surface, we can just confirm this and offset the surface into 0.5. I think that's enough, and let's us confirm the surface to 0.5 and click and drag. Okay, all right, and now I'm ready to start over again some other areas of the surface. So maybe here at the uh, nose, I'm gonna use step build again. Okay, and then extend. Okay, extend, hold shift, and then extend, hold shift, extend, hold shift, and extend. Okay, so the topology should follow along with the how the figure was built. Okay, you should follow the contour and the details and give it a nice flow as possible as you can. And extend, hold shift, extend, and click and drag, click and drag. Okay, hold control, hold shift, and then extend to extend the edges simultaneously. Hold control and shift to move multiple edges at the same time. Okay, and continuously extend. Okay, hold shift, extend, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. Okay, hold shift, extend, click and drag, hold shift, extend, hold shift, extend. Okay, hold shift, extend, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. Okay, and I'm gonna weld all the vertices together. So let's activate the vertex mode so that we can access the target weld button, and one by one we should weld it manually. Okay, all right, and then rearrange again the topology. Okay, and then we are close enough to the point that we can now bridge both surface from the area of the eyes towards the area of the nose. Okay, and drag. Alright, and then extend. I'm going to extend the eyes and prepare it for so that we can bridge it on the nose later. Extend. Okay, and let's activate the edge button so that we can select the edges. Okay, select that one, select that for edges, and then we have here under the edge section we have here a bridge button. Just click that. Okay, and extend. Okay, and sometimes we have to delete some parts and weld it directly instead. Okay, I think I should fast forward the video, as I suppose that you already know how or how the basic works. Okay, okay, so from this point it's possible that you already familiar with the workflow for retopologizing process. Okay, and I'm going to fast forward our video until it covers up the half of the face. Okay. Okay, so I'm finally finished covering up the half of the face, and we are now good to go and proceed for another part of tutorial. So in part 3, I'm going to mirror this object into the other side and weld this the center, so that both this side and the other side would be as one object or one entity. And you can expect that I already have covered half of the body on part 3. So see you in the next video.